Hello everyone, welcome back to the Replay Studio. We're here with another episode of Haikyuu, the fourth episode of season 2. Last time on Haikyuu, the journey to a passing grade continues for our team, most notably Hinata and Kageyama, who have not done so well, with their grades. But the last two episodes, for the most part, has been focused on introducing this new character, the manager in training, Yachi. So it's been a fun ride, sort of a side story to introduce us to her, see how she interacts with the team, and so far, it appears as though she's going to be a unique introduction to the team. I don't think we have anyone who has her anxiety and timid personality. I guess maybe Asahi is the closest thing. But he doesn't go too as extreme as she appears to be. But the last episode, at really, she seemed to have built some confidence with the help of Hinata, of course, and improving her relationship with her mom, who sees that she's trying but often doesn't communicate, as well with her. But she really does want her to go places. She just wants her to have the confidence to actually get it done. And we slowly see Yashi coming into her own. So I can't wait to see how she progresses in the future. So on to the next episode. Let's check it out. Oh, they finally made it to Tokyo. And it's that classic scene when people from out of town, the country folk come into town and they're just amazed by everything. And likewise in the reverse as well, sometimes. 21, 38. That's not awesome. What is the passing grade? I guess that's a pass since they aren't down, so I guess 40 is the pass mark. Can they have a makeup exam or something? So are they going regardless of what the school has said since they failed? Rub it in, don't you? Who is Neko's manager, by the way? I know we've seen a coach and another guy who's the assistant coach, I think, but who's their manager? Oh, Tanaka's sister. She just has the rebel look. Take me with you. On the second thought, maybe not. Yeah, you should have led with that. Old man Neko. The duo, except they're not here yet. Alright, so there isn't a direct matchup. They're just going to rotate. Interesting. That ensures that they play against people with different styles and techniques. Oh, it's Lev. He wasn't there before when they first played. They're in for a surprise if both he and Kenma had actually managed to iron out their teamwork. Because he's good. What is her name again? I forgot her name. Ouch. I just love that Shoei is so obsessed with volleyball. He's not even distracted by how hot she is. Psycho, yes. Okay, she doesn't look that different. All the times when we see flashback of these characters, it's like they have colored hair now, and then look, the coach, for example, his hair is blonde, but apparently he bleached his hair because in high school he had dark hair. So I was expecting something drastically different in her. Intense. I wonder whether we'll come across, you know, the little giant later on. I mean, at his age now, he could still be playing on the national level. Or could be retired, but it would be nice if you actually meet him. Or show you to meet him, actually. Oh. You have a long way to go though, Hinata. 16-24, not doing great. Who is this guy? He has a very unique design. I wonder if he's gonna be someone we need to pay attention to. Ooh. Powerful. That was a serve, right? Yeah. Strong servers. But if it makes them the best at it. I hope they're not just only good at serves, because once you receive it, then what do they do? Combination attacks. Shinzen. I haven't seen our team use anything like that. The well-rounded team, Nekoma. Oh, okay. Top 5. Interesting. Reminds me of Tanaka. Ukuradani. Until they rely on their ace. I worry about teams like that that focus on just one area though. Oh, I finally made it. 2025. Oof. We're just getting beaten all around. It worries me that our team is so dependent on just the first years, but I think when they complete their training here, they'll come away better players. Stars are here. Alright, this is a team that's good with combination attacks, right? Shinzen. Let's see how they react to Hinata. It did. It did touch it. So these are... they're good. Yeah. Finally, 1-1. Serve team. Yeah, just they were able to keep up. And these, you kind of have to expect that. And how do you react to that? Oh, yeah. Lev. Damn. I forgot he hadn't seen Lev yet. You guys have some new blood to compete with. I love this guy already. He looks like he's just having fun with everything. He reminds me so much of Tanaka. You can't solely focus on just this quick with Kageyama. It's time for you to get better as an individual, as an individual player. And he's already this good. The Lev, I mean, he put in the work though. He knew he was bad, but it didn't deter him. He was always confident that he could get better. You're already tall. Yeah, just like yours. Oh. Always running into someone in the bathroom. Way taller than you are, Hinata. Stop focusing on the height. He's gonna need to jump higher than that to beat him. Ouch. No, you're not. Does it matter what position the ace actually is? I guess they have to be in the offensive. So I expect a wing spiker, but I guess it's unusual for a blocker to be an ace? I don't know. And they're becoming too reliant on it. Hinata needs to move away from that. I think start opening his eyes and be able to direct the attacks. Alright, he and Lev have gotten pretty in sync. Yeah. Kenma is no joke. Rivalry for the ace position. Who'll get there first? Yeah, who did they lose to? All right, episode 4 of Haikyuu. The training camp has finally begun. We had a bit of a scare at the beginning there. Shoyo and Kageyama failing their exams, but they did a supplementary exam, so they finally made it. The team was getting pummeled before they got there, though. So it raises some interesting questions, seeing all these new teams that are focusing on their strength only. We were shown a team. Was it Shenzhen, or was Shenzhen the team that used combination attacks? But the team that used focus on their serves. I mean, what happens if the serve actually gets received? What is the plan? Are they well rounded in other areas, or the focus just on serves? But I worry about teams like that. Even Fukurodani, who focuses on their captain. I mean, what happens if the captain gets injured and he's pulled out of the game? Or someone manages to get around the captain? Are they balanced in the other areas, or are we just saying this is their focus and they've neglected everything else? If they're a strong team, I would imagine that they're good in other areas, but they've chosen to make this their strength. If that's the case, we saw something similar happen with the Iron Wall, where they're great at blocking, but once you're able to get around their defense, I don't know what else can they do. But they were good at using the blocking offensively as well. So maybe these teams, while they're good in this area, that they can adapt to other strategies as well. So I mean, that's a possibility. We saw it with my concern was what we saw with Awa Josai and Oikawa. Where the first time Karasuno met them, they didn't do very well the first time we played them in that practice match, because Okawa wasn't there. We had a rematch and we won, and they won because Okawa was there. So the concern is really just dependency on this one angle, this one strength, and that worries me a bit. So maybe not for Karasuno, because I think Karasuno appears to be the most rounded of the teams outside of Nekoma. But they have a good libero, a great setter, and Hinata's a great middle blocker. Well, I think Hinata is more perfectly suited as a wing spiker. I suspect in the future his position will change when things get shuffled around a bit. But they have strong persons in each position, I would say, as much as Suki doesn't appear to be into the game so far, he's an excellent middle blocker, and he thinks strategically, and I think that will come into play later on. So Karasuno has some well-rounded players in each position. They just don't have the plays yet, which I think they'll probably pick up here from this training camp. But the other teams, I don't know. It's usually the opponents that they're facing. I like the opponents that they're facing. But the opponents all appear to just have one strength in one area or one person that they're focused on. So I do wonder whether we'll see other teams start to adapt and ensure that they're good in all areas. I would hope that Shiratorizawa is actually a well-rounded team as well, and they're not just focusing on their ace, to carry the team, but. Most of these teams that we're seeing so far have all focused on just one person or one play. So I think Karasuno will more than likely pick up, skills from each of these teams and use for themselves. But I do hope going forward that we see other teams do the same. I want Karasuno to win, but I don't want it to be, an easy match. You get me? So I do want to see them face off against opponents that are able to adapt. We did see Awa Josai do this in their last match. I think with relative success, still some dependency on Oikawa, but I think they were good in adapting with every play that Karasuno actually brought to the table. They were able to adapt, but all those ideas actually came from Oikawa. He was basically the coach on the court, and he was telling them how to react to these plays. So the bit about focusing on just relying on one individual does concern me, but I don't think not so much for Karasuno as it is for their opponents, because I want to see them go all out against a very strong team that has, you know, has strength in each of these areas, and not have this huge um, gap in their defense, or their serves are horrible. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, looking at a team like Nokoma, who, you know, as I said, Nokoma at the moment is the most well-rounded. They're not, you know, they don't have a strong server per se, you know, at least not on Okawa or Kageyama's level, but good enough, you know. And that's the same for all the positions on their board. But they utilize those skills really well, you know. And so I want to see that rematch with Karasuno for them, for one. But also want to see other teams who challenge Karasuno in the same way that Nekoma has actually challenged them. So that'll be interesting to see for the future. I mean, we got our butts kicked earlier on until Kageyama and Hinata showed up. But the team took the losses gracefully, and I think they're gonna, for this camp, they're gonna be picking up some new ideas as well. Hinata finally met Lev, and I think they're gonna be having a friendly rivalry. You know, interesting that they're both going for the ace position, but neither of them are really good enough to actually get there. Kema said Lev is worse in his basics than Hinata actually is. We haven't seen a lot. I watched the OVA, and so I've seen him play, but I didn't see him in other positions, serving or blocking, to see if he's just as bad in those areas. But we know Hinata is pretty bad in those. But I am glad to see Hinata coming to the realization that, you know, seeing Lev play and realizing that he needs a way to battle on his own, and his quick attack is, you know, going into the match without even seeing the attack, the team was able to actually touch the ball. And, you know, as they face off against stronger opponents, this is going to keep happening. So it may not be a case to do away with the quick so much as be able to, you know, navigate where the ball actually goes. And for that, he'll need to have his eyes open. So they need to start that from now to ensure that they can perfect it by the time they get to the next tournament. So hopefully, you know, they start quickly so that they can get to practicing and get that done. But we'll see, guys. Another player who, I mean, that stood out apart from Liv was the character from Fukurodani. They kept highlighting him, so I'm assuming that he's going to be a character to actually look out for. The captain that's in the top, you know, it's not captain, ace, one of the top 5 aces in the prefecture. So I'm looking forward to learn more about him. He reminds me so much of Tanaka with his, you know, he just has a lot of energy. And I just love that about him. So so we'll see. As we are introduced to more characters, even the opponents in this series are actually quite interesting and people that you really want to root for. So we're already seeing a few characters from the opposing team that look like, you know, characters that you would actually love if you weren't rooting for Karasuno. So I can't wait to see more of these characters. All right, guys, be sure to post down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.